The Janitor's Night at the Funeral Home. It was a quiet night at Holloway Funeral Home. The air was thick with the lingering scent of flowers and polish. Michael, the janitor, swept the empty halls, the bristles of his broom whispering secrets to the shadows. He had worked at the funeral home for years and thought he had seen it all, until tonight. The clock struck midnight and a deep silence settled over the place. Michael, pushing his mop bucket towards the viewing room, felt a chill creep up his spine. He paused, staring at the heavy oak door that led into the room where Mr. Cha was laid out for his final farewell. He hesitated before pushing the door open, the creak echoing through the empty building. Inside, the dim light cast eerie shadows across the walls, and the large, ornate coffin sat solemnly in the center of the room. Michael shivered, though he told himself it was just the drafty old building. As he approached the coffin to check on the flowers, a sudden noise made him freeze. It was a soft rustling, like fabric against wood. His heart pounded in his chest as he turned slowly to the source of the sound. To his horror, the lid of the coffin began to lift. Michael's breath caught in his throat. He watched, paralyzed, as the lid opened fully and Mr. Cha sat up. His movements were slow and deliberate, as if waking from a long sleep. Michael's mind raced. Was this some kind of sick joke? But as Mr. Cha swung his legs over the side of the coffin and stood, the truth settled in. This was no prank. The dead man, still clad in his funeral suit, walked past Michael, his eyes glazed and lifeless. He moved with a strange, mechanical grace, heading straight for the door. Michael followed, his legs shaky, unable to look away. Mr. Cha shuffled down the hall, turned a corner, and entered the men's bathroom. Michael stood outside, hearing the unmistakable sounds of the toilet flushing and water running. His mind struggled to comprehend what was happening. After what felt like an eternity, Mr. Cha emerged from the bathroom. Without a glance at Michael, he walked back the way he came. Michael, barely breathing, trailed him back to the viewing room. Mr. Cha climbed back into his coffin, lay down, and pulled the lid shut over himself. The room fell into silence once more. Michael stood there, sweat dripping down his face, unable to move. Eventually, he forced himself to finish his rounds, but the image of Mr. Cha's lifeless eyes stayed with him, haunting his every step. The next morning, as the staff prepared for the funeral, Michael tried to tell them what he had seen. They all stood silent and without opinions, trying not to let Michael's story scare them from finishing their work. Michael then brought it up with the funeral director, explaining what he had witnessed the previous night. The director was shocked and decided to check the CCTV camera. To his disbelief, it was true. Michael, trying to stay optimistic and keep his fear at bay, asked the director once more if it was a prank or something. The director told him it was not. Michael was the only one in the building last night. Knowing it was true and not a prank, the shock and fear finally set in. Michael was overwhelmed by a flood of emotions he had never felt before. Every fear imaginable gripped him. After talking with the director, Michael quit the job on the spot. The experience haunted him forevermore, a chilling reminder that some nightmares are all too real.
If you like this story, please like and subscribe. Thank you.